Get 'em, Jimmy, where Loshak at? The bottle's getting nifty up the crack and we stacking chips. All of it's what I want, plus money winners, that's what I'm on. You can say I'm gone, I prefer elevated pub sports radio. Time to get educated, get produced, leave the juice, letting loose with so much abuse that the bookies wanna call a truce. They getting slaughtered, can't forget Jeff and low baggers in the chat. That's a lethal weapon, 'cause we be pubbing.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Pub Sports Radio. My name is Peter Loshak. Today is Tuesday, November 1st. We do this every Tuesday. NHL, NBA, college football now, everything. College basketball soon. Cover everything this show. So far, it's been not too bad. I've had a nice start to the NHL season. College football going okay for me. So we're going to cover the action games tonight. Huge NHL slate. We're going to cover with Mr. Gokster. NBA, I'm switching it up a little bit. Feeling a little bit more confident in NBA. Overall, things are okay. Not bad. I'm vaguely hopeful for today's show. Looking forward to it. Of course, we got the comment section. MLB, have not even looked at it at all. But Jose Bouquett is going to join me, and we're going to cover that game as well. It's going to be good. First, let me pop my collar for good luck. Pow! There you go. Nice, nice, nice. All right. In order to be a winner, you got to look like a winner. Do I look like a winner right now? Kind of. I think so. I think so. A winner of sorts. I think it's going to be a winning day today. All right, let's get to the comment section, see what everyone has to say. And again, we're going to keep a brisk pace. We always say we try to do that every show. Sometimes we're more successful than others. Today, we got a 12-game slate on the NHL, and I think we're going to be successful. We're going to be. Mr. Gokster is buying in. We had a pre-video talk about brisk pace. You know, a players-only talk without slaughter, just me, Mr. Gokster, and Jose Bouquett, and everyone's buying into brisk pace. So I think we're going to achieve that in today's show. Let's look at the comment section. Spencer Penjijij, shout out to you, Spencer Penjijij. Great to see you in the comment section. AOD, Dan Kelly. Here you go, Dan Kelly. Thanks, everyone. Dan Kelly says, thanks for everything you do for us, Pete. No, Dan Kelly, thanks for everything you do for us, Dan Kelly, especially those NBA picks and insights that you would give to us last year. I hope you have some today for us because the NBA is very, very tricky. No defense. I think I got some plays I'm liking. I did take Minnesota +4. It's now down to 3.5. We'll see what you guys have to say about that. I know that's treacherous. Maybe I'll take the Minnesota team total over as well, but I did take Minnesota. And I'm thinking about taking, I can't even remember what the games are. I'm thinking about taking, I took the under in Bulls Nets and the first quarter under as well. Dan Kelly, if you have anything to say about those, please enlighten me because I bet them. I'll probably give them officially, but I feel nervous about it as always. All right, let's see what else is in the comments section. Here we go. Oh, Kyle Hintley says, love the under. Yeah, I took it. You know, hopefully it wins. Let's see. What else do we have here? Dan Kelly, shout out. Kyle Hintley and Brandon the Great. Everyone's in the comment section. NJ Striker, Jedi for Life, Avocado, Chicken and Leche. We got everyone. All right. It's gonna be a nice show. I think we're gonna have a very nice show here. AOD. Okay. Not much else in the comment section. So let's start things off and get a brisk pace here. We're going to start with NHL, and of course, to do NHL with us, thank God we have him. Thanks to you for everything you do for us every week. Mr. Gokster helping us break down the NHL. Mr. Gokster, we got 12 games today. NHL is, the first day of the season. Oftentimes, there's no-brainer plays that you don't want to overthink. First week or two of the season, a lot of times there's just sort of, results that you were sort of expecting with your preseason analysis that come to pass and you can bet into them. At this point in the season, things get a little trickier. You know, the market adjusts. Obviously, totals are higher now than they were at the beginning of the year, so you can't automatically blindly bet overs with sixes that should be 6.5s. Those games are all now 6.5. A lot of times juiced to the over. And, you got things like teams that are just way outperforming what people were expecting, like Philly, wondering how long that's going to last. A lot of times, the first few weeks of the season, a dog shit team starts to do well, and then the preseason expectations show themselves for a month or 2 or 3 after that, like we might see with San Jose. But San Jose's been doing better. Mr. Goetzer, what are your thoughts on NHL right now? Give us 20 seconds. Any thoughts you have?
Oh, Pete, just want to say thank you for having me on. As always, it's a pleasure to be on with you, Pete. Started with you way back in the day, so it's always an honor to be on with you. Everyone in the chat, what's going on? Let's get some cash. This nice, juicy 12-game slate. I'm on a lot of sides today. Going forward, though, some injuries are starting to creep up on some teams. Starting to see some teams that, I think are going to fall off. Maybe Chicago's another one there, Pete. They had a really hard start and lost their last 3 games, and I think they got a tough one tonight against the Islanders too. So, there's going to be some just day-to-day capping, guys. Best thing you could do, just keep up to date with what's going on, and from day to day, that's the best way to do it. And looking forward to this slate. 12 games. Let's do it.
Yeah, a lot of times I'll have a lot of bets that I've made on the overnight lines. This card I made a few that I feel okay about, but not a ton. That I've made already, but a lot of times when we're doing these NHL shows, like last week, I had all those team totals that all cashed, and none of them I had bet before the show. They were all bets that I was thinking about it, but they were all bets that I decided to make while we were doing the show. All right, so let's look at the comment section and very quickly once again, and then jump into the to the slate here. Nutflush Allen. Nutflush Allen, where are you? Where is Nutflush Allen here? Shout out to you. Oh, man, Nutflush Allen, we need you for today's show. 12 games. Team totals are crazy, kind of wacky. Nutflush Allen, I did take a shot with a Boston team total over. We'll talk about that in a bit. But there's a lot of like 3.5s now. Like Edmonton. Do you just automatically bet Edmonton on their team total overs at every 3.5? I'm not exactly sure. All right. Shout out to the comment section. Let us know what you think about all these games, and let's get into it. We'll start off with Ottawa, Tampa Bay, right? Tampa Bay returning from the West Coast trip. They won 2 out of 3 there. Ottawa just lost at Florida, a game where they just played poorly, right? Gave up a lot of shots. But we know that Ottawa in general is a pretty live team right now. Still, a mid-range team rated by the market. And here you have them again, expected, a big underdog. Not a shock where the line is, but maybe they are going to be a little bit undervalued going forward until the market fully catches up. And after last game, maybe this is a game where they bring it a little bit more. I was thinking about Ottawa at least first period. If not, maybe a shot with the full game money line as a big dog, but definitely first period. Florida's a scary team, right? They put up a lot of shots, and it sort of maybe smacked Ottawa in the face a little bit.
Yeah.
Maybe I have a bias against betting against Vasilevsky in any situation. He's awesome, but he can be scored on. What do you think about Ottawa here, and particularly first period?
You know what? It's what I got on my notes, Pete. Ottawa
really?
First period. Yeah.
Okay.
Plus 150 I just found. I think this is a nice bounce back spot for him, despite not having Zub and Norris. Norris being the number 1 scorer, really. But this line really is numbered like it was last year, and they got the additions of Giroux and DeBrincat. It's a better hockey team. I'm going to have to take Ottawa first period here. They are 2-1 so far this year, Pete, too, on the road. Mm-hmm. In first period, so they do come out hot, coming off 2 losses too. I think this is a good spot. We're also getting Tampa Bay guys, I believe, on a nice road. They've been on a long road trip out west, Pete, so this is their first game back. I think that's a great spot to jump on a team when they're coming off that long road trip. Also against San Jose and Anaheim, so 2 weaker teams too. 4-2, 4-3, allowed some goals. I think we're getting a nice price here. I don't mind Ottawa full game, but again, Vasilevsky can just kind of steal a game, as we all know. So first period, I think, is where we can get maybe Tampa Bay. Just Ottawa should jump all over them, I think, Pete, in the first period, and we're getting a nice plus 150 here. I'm gonna take this one.
Yeah, where are you seeing 150? Because I'm seeing 139 at Pinnacle and 140 at some other places. What book? Quote the book.
It was at Unibet. Let me just double check it's still there. Do we use Unibet, Pete? There's so many.
Absolutely, you can, for sure.
There's so many books here now in Canada, as you Canadians know. It's crazy. There's literally like 12, 13 books. So I'll just double check to make sure it's still there, Pete. But yeah.
I'm a little bit again. I think I have an irrational bias about betting against Vasilevsky. So I'm thinking about taking the first period plus a half at minus 155. I know that means low volatility. Probably high volatility. What'd you say? Go ahead.
To save, Pete. To save.
Yeah. What do you think about that?
I don't mind. That plus 150. I think they can get up here one. You know, and what do I have here? Also 2-2. I don't know where are we here. 0-2-1. So they haven't hit an over yet. Their 3 road games, Pete. There hasn't been an over. There's been 2 unders and 1 push. So I think they can hold the fort here. I really do in the first period.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be a little safe here. I'm gonna take Ottawa first period plus a half. Ottawa first period plus a half minus 155, which is a juicy line, but not that juicy. It's not one of these minus 190 or minus 200 lines that you sometimes have to take when you're taking first period lines in the NHL. So I'll take Ottawa first period plus a half goal minus 155, and you're getting first period just money line at plus 150.
That's right. Unibet here has got plus 150. Give me plus 150.
All right. Sounds good. We'll move on very quickly. Sharon Pulliam says Tampa Bay is dysfunctional. Would you agree with that?
Well, that road trip, it's a little early, but that 4-2 loss, I was all over the LA Kings in that game. Bounced back against Anaheim and San Jose are 2 of the bottom tier teams, I'd say, in this league. So it's a bad spot. And, I wouldn't talk anybody off the money line on Ottawa. But also they don't have Cirelli, Tampa Bay. When they get Cirelli back, he's a big, just forechecker. He's a 2-way player, really good hockey player. And then Bogosian's another defensive player they don't have. But within time, I think Tampa Bay will figure it out. They'll be fine. But right now, it's a bad spot, I think, for Tampa Bay, and kind of a spot play here, Pete, with Ottawa and the plus money.
Spencer Penyage says nothing. Tampa Bay at home will be tough for Ottawa. Yeah, full game, but I think the first period, especially how the last game went for Ottawa, it just sets up for a strong first period for Ottawa. And if it loses, okay, I'll eat the unit and a half loss. Just very quickly, Nutflush Allen talking about MACtion. He says looking into but not done with Ball State team total over. So Nutflush Allen looking at the Ball State team total over. As you know, Mr. Gokster, honesty has been one of the hallmarks of my videos going years back, so I may as well not abandon it. I grabbed Ball State at plus 5.
Hold on.
Go ahead.
You're missing the other part. It's honesty and transparency.
Yeah, honesty and transparency. I guess the same thing. But yeah, I mean, transparency, yeah. Honesty is just, I grabbed Ball State as soon as it came out at plus 5. Grabbed it immediately. Now it's 7. So maybe I made a mistake here. But yeah, I was looking at Ball State as well. We'll see we'll talk about that game at the end of the show when we get to that segment. But okay, yeah, Mitch Fearing says Tampa Bay too juiced here. Can't go sense in the spot either. No play. All right, so Mr. Gokser and I are both going to be on Ottawa first period. Next game, Phil. Okay, you ready, Ottawa? You ready, Mr. Gokser?
I was going to say one more thing here, Pete.
Yeah.
Ottawa is a very fast team, so Tampa's going to have to keep up with them, if anything. Try to play physical against Ottawa, but they're a very quick hockey team, so I almost think Ottawa can beat them, but that's
Sure. All right, Philly and the Rangers. A classic early November NHL game and handicapping situation that scares me a little bit, honestly, Mr. Gokser. In all sports, going back 15, 20 years, however long I've been doing this, I tend to do very well in the first couple weeks of a season, tend to do awesome in the second halves of the seasons. But in the second part of the first half of the season, I tend to struggle a bit. And this is a classic game that I might have jumped on a little bit more eagerly than I'm going to right now. Philly and the Rangers. Philly, obviously, way outperforming preseason expectations, right? And it's real, right? They've got Torts as the coach, lighting a fire under them, playing very well defensively, and it's been successful. Rangers, people were expecting them to be a good team this year, and I think they are, and I think they will be going forward. Returning from Arizona, though, got the win, but struggled more than you might expect. And now they're back home as a massive favorite, right? Minus 240 or whatever. In light of how now the season-long numbers that I have here say that Philly is definitely the play here. I can't pull the trigger on it because I feel like at some point Philly's going to regress majorly back towards what people were expecting from them full season. And I should have the money numbers and the ticket numbers somewhere. Let me just go look for that. But Mr. Gokster, yes, take it away here. Is maybe Philly as a massive dog here worth a play? Maybe Philly +1, +1.5, +2. What do you think?
Well, it's a similar spot to Tampa Bay, Pete. They're Dallas, Arizona. Now they're coming back home. That win against Arizona, you're right. They just barely squeaked that one out. Hart's been actually the big. Maybe people aren't talking about him enough. He's been really good for Philadelphia.
Yeah.
He's 2-0 right now on the road with a .957, 1.50 goals against. So it's a small sample size, but he's like you said, he's been a big reason why this team's been humming. But I agree with your regression. They're missing Atkinson, Couturier, JVR. That's offense. Like long-term, guys, that's offense for Philadelphia. They are 22%. The power play, 77%. Both teams' penalty kill are below 80%. Big thing here, Pete, last 10 games, Philadelphia, 28 shots for average, 35 shots against average. They've been allowing a lot of shots. They've been relying on Carter Hart an awful lot.
Yeah.
So what I actually have here, and I almost want to play it, is no goal first 10 minutes and under first period plus 115. I think we could see an under spot here, Pete. Just there's not going to be as much offense, I think, from Philadelphia. They also have a back-to-back coming up against Toronto tomorrow at Toronto. So I think this could be a lower scoring game. You got two top goalies in the league right now. What do we have here? Looking at the total, New York Rangers, Pete, they're 4-1 to the under in the first period so far at home. So they've been a strong under team at home, off a long road trip. Phillies, they're coming up that loss against Carolina. I think I want to play it. You know what, Pete? Give me just first period under 1.5 plus 115. I'm going to play that one. I think we can see a tight affair. How Philadelphia plays, especially with Tortorella, it's not let's go up and down the ice. It's going to slow it down. Dump and chase. Just try not to go on the get one of these teams on the power play, because both power plays are over 20% in the last 10 games, and the penalty kills are below 80. So that would be the only hiccup, maybe. But I'm going to take the Actually, Pete, you know what? I'm just double thinking here, guys. I want the no goal in the first 10 minutes. I want plus 135 just in case power plays. As the period goes on, there could just weird shit happens. Rangers are a team that can score. I think early though, I'm going to take that, guys. I'm going to take the no goal plus 135. Something's telling me. Just got the old gut feel. Doing this long enough, Pete. I'm going to rock with this. Sorry, no goal first 10 minutes plus 135.
Okay, yeah. Write down all of your plays. I was thinking first period under, maybe with 5 Ys in my maybe here. Yeah, I was thinking first period under, but didn't pull the trigger, and I don't think I'm going to bet that. And yeah, I was your analysis of Philly is dead on, and I was all ready to pound the Rangers as soon as the line came out at minus 160 or whatever. Then when I see 240, I was like, all right, let me hold back on that. I do have the bet numbers and the money numbers. The Ottawa game, first of all, full line value on Ottawa, according to Sports Insights. Full line value on Ottawa, according to Sports Insights. 44% of the tickets and only 26% of the money on Ottawa, but obviously some very sharp action coming in on Ottawa there. Full line value on Ottawa, according to Sports Insights, and that makes me feel a lot better about my first period play, because if they win this one, I think they're more likely than not to play their strongest in the first period anyway. So that's nice. And the bigger bets coming in on the under, 25% of the tickets, 70% of the cash on the under in Ottawa, Tampa Bay, and that's what I was thinking as well. Didn't have the balls to pull trigger on Tampa Bay team total under, but I might do that. As far as the Philly game here, no line value according to Sports Insights. The bigger bets coming in on Philly, which is not a surprise considering the current line. 20% of the tickets and 90% of the cash on Philly, but no line value according to Sports Insights. And then the bigger bets also coming in on the under. 35% of the tickets, 80% of the cash on the under. No surprise there. I would agree with all that. So yeah, if you gave me a free play on the side, I would put it on Philly. I'm not going to bet it. And I do think there's some value on the under. Haven't bet it yet, though. Not sure if I want to make that official. I might before the show is over, but definitely leaning under. And maybe I'll just throw up something on the full game.
I think this could be like 5.5. We have not seen many 5.5s, Pete. And then you told me the money was coming in on 5.5. This is, this feels like not a dead nut under, but I think the no goal first 10 minutes is very hittable. Is very it can happen at plus 135. Yeah.
Let's see what the people in the comment section has to say. Flyers, Bo Jackson Flyers play the Leafs tomorrow. Christopher Comacini, Hart has been a brick wall. Absolutely. I think that's partially for real until he wears down or gets injured, right?
Yeah, he was hurt a lot last year, and the back-to-back, that's the one thing actually, guys, is geez, with that back-to-back, the last thing we want to see is oh God, you know what, more I'm thinking about this, maybe that's why the line's so big, Pete, is Sandstrom. This guy's an AHL are not ready. I've said this about Tarasov. I was right. Sandstrom, Felix Sandstrom, he's not ready. He could be called up here because not called up. He's their backup goalie, but he's got a lot to prove. So that would be the only thing that I would maybe.
You mean for Philly? For
Philly, yeah, just because they got a back-to-back against Toronto.
I'm seeing Carter Hart confirmed.
Okay, well then, you know what? Jump all over Toronto tomorrow, guys. Holy Jesus. Coming off that bad road trip, I'd be all over Toronto in a heartbeat. So yeah, if Hart's in, then I think this is a dead nut under, but just keep an eye on that. Yeah.
All right. I'm definitely leaning under and first period under as well. But let's move on. All right, Vegas, Washington. Tell me what you think about this one, Mr. Goldster. I said I didn't have too many bets on the overnight lines, but this one I did bet, right? Washington on a back-to-back. Lost in OT at Carolina last night. It was a physical game, right? And Vegas has been playing great, right? They're playing a very strong defense-oriented game that so far has been successful. Washington kind of banged up. They have been winning, but they're banged up. They're coming off of a tough game, right? On a back-to-back at home against Vegas, who has been rolling. You know, now they're heading out on the road, so things might change. But I feel like they have a good nucleus and a style of play that should travel. And so I was a little bit surprised the line was as low as it was. I did take a shot with Vegas -1 at even money, and I took a shot with. I didn't take the Washington total under, but I was thinking about it just because it was 2.5. Couldn't find any 3.5, so I just took Vegas -1. What do you think about Vegas here? And I also took them first period a little bit as well. Is Vegas a nice play here?
That's the one. First period's what I'm going to pull the trigger on here, Pete. Vegas first period, -120. Mm-hmm. Looking at Washington, they've had one win and 3 pushes in the first period. So they've been a slow team to start. They're coming off that road trip. Vegas, they have Thompson. He's both of these goalies, actually, guys, Lindgren and Thompson. Lindgren's going to get the start tonight. It's his first home start of the year, but he's been a real bright spot for this team. They got 2 goalies right now with Lindgren and Thompson, 2 up-and-comers. I lean to the under more. I'm thinking about this game. Shots for, though, and shots against is something I want to talk about, Pete. 34 shots for in the last 10 games for Vegas, only 29 against. They're just playing all around, just good hockey. And it's Bruce Cassidy. I swear to God, he's got to be a bit of a You got to give him some credit here because they're even Boston too. They're playing well, both these teams. But Boursois is another good sign for him there, Pete. Remember, France, I forget his first name, but Boursois, their goalie there. Once he comes back, he's playing with Henderson, I believe, tonight or tomorrow, Pete. So he's playing with the AHL team, so he should be back soon. I'm going to rock, though, with Vegas first period money line. I lean to the under 2 here, guys. First period money line, I found it at -120, Pete. Mm-hmm. Vegas first period money line. I think early they've been higher than they've been a better team than I expected. Eichels looked really good under Cassidy too. Thompson's just been stealing games for them, and it's going to be interesting with Lindgren. More I'm thinking about this game, guys. I think this could be the over 6 is -122 in this. If you can get maybe a 6.5 to the under, maybe -120. I don't mind that. Even a Washington team total under, Pete.
Yeah, interesting stuff coming in from the comments section. Kyle Hintley, and I think Vegas wins 4-2. Kiwi says Caps at home arena is loud. And Sharon Polian, I'm on Washington also. Mitch Fearing, I am jumping on the Capitals here. No reason books would open this at -125. They want all the Vegas money they can get. Mitch Fearing, a couple years ago, I would have hammered Vegas last night, but I really think the books are setting traps like this now, especially with teams like Caps and NBA teams like the Celtics. Bo Jackson, the Caps blew the game last night. Kyle Hintley says Caps tired. Yeah, I mean, they're a little bit banged up. They're tired. What do you think about all this? Wow, Mr. Goldster. I mean, you can overthink yourself on any bet you make. Go ahead.
This isn't one like I'm really I got about 6 or 7 plays here. This is probably if I had to grade it, probably it's not as strong as maybe like Ottawa first period. I do like quite a bit. But what I would say is, they don't have many injuries. Kolasar is questionable for Vegas. This line actually did have me questioning. I agree with the people in the chat. I looked into it. I couldn't find a reason not to take Vegas, really. Oshie's out. Carlson's out. They got injury problems, Washington. Hagelin and Backstrom are still out. Coming off that 3-2 loss at Carolina. I was thinking this too. I thought, people probably are going to be on Washington, but I think Vegas full game. I didn't take it. I took the first period. I think they can jump all over them first period, but I don't know, guys. I think the spot, the missing some of your key guys. I don't have the lineups right now, but and Lindgren too.
Right.
I remember watching him, Pete, here in Belleville for Laval 2 years ago. I was giving him shit. I was Charlie Ling, like I was giving him, and now here he is playing for Washington. So he's definitely made his move. He deserves it. But both these goalies, they're both up and comers. It's a tough game, guys. I wouldn't talk anyone off Washington, but I'm going to rock the first period for Vegas.
Some interesting stuff here from the money numbers here in Sports Insights. If the books are trying to get all the Vegas action that they can, you might expect Sports Insights to indicate at best no line value or maybe some line value on Washington. But the reality is the opposite. Sports Insights indicates half line value on Vegas, 87% of the tickets, 94% of the cash on Vegas. And according to Sports Insights, half line value on Vegas. So some action that gets respect. Taking Vegas, at least as of right now, according to Sports Insights, and everything on the under as well. 60% of the tickets, 90% of the cash on the under. That's the way I would be leaning and thinking too. All right, I'll tell you what I am going to do. I'm going to take a shot with the under at 6.5 minus 114. I'm a little bit surprised that the line is so high that you can get. Go ahead.
I like that play. I like that play. Coming off that back-to-back, so Vegas, they can slow things down. I don't know. I like that play. And someone in the chat here saying, but the Capitals burned you one too many times. I just can't find a reason why not to take Vegas. What am I missing here? Hopefully I'm not missing something, but the line values in Vegas's favor.
Well, I guess the reason would be that, Vegas, they were on the road. Now they're traveling all the way cross country after a nice win streak where they're playing well, going against a team that's kind of banged up and salty. And yeah, they're injured, but they're on a back-to-back off an OT loss. So they're going to come in and at home be a little salty. I can see the reasons for Washington, right?
Yeah. I just think, I guess I'm pretty high on Vegas right now and how well they're playing, and they're playing well on the road. I don't know. They have beat Anaheim, San Jose, and Winnipeg their last three. Those last two are not that good, but we'll see. If Lindgren plays really well, it's a dead nut under, Pete. But
right.
Yeah.
I'm going to go official with this one. Vegas Caps under 6.5 minus 114. That's the current line at Pinnacle. And you have anything, Mr. Goxer, that you want to make official?
I'm just going to leave it at that, guys. Total wise, definitely leaning the under. And first period Vegas, I'm going to take that minus 120.
That's official, right?
That's an official play.
Okay, let's add. Mitch Fearing talked about how the line and the line movement is extremely fishy. Rocker Rogers like in Vegas minus 125. Jay Vegas says, where are you getting 6.5? Line 6. Jay Vegas. Let me see. Let me make sure I'm not making many mistakes here. Vegas Golden Knights, Washington Capitals, Pinnacle.com. Let's make sure this isn't a spoof site like Pinnacle.com.
It's like grocery shopping, Pete.
Yeah, 6.5 minus 114 at Pinnacle right now. I'm seeing it right now at Pinnacle.
On sale at Pinnacle, guys.
Go ahead.
It's on sale at Pinnacle. It's like seeing a flyer. Like, oh, it's on sale at Pinnacle. Yeah, there.
I'm not even using a line screen. I'm looking at Pinnacle itself. 6.5 minus 114. That is the current line at Pinnacle. So I will quote that. No, I'm not giving up stale lines. Okay, and Jay Vegas sees it there. All right, yeah. Okay. That's been another hallmark of my videos going years back. No stale lines and no shit books. Although I allow other people to use shit books in my videos. All right. Next game will be Montreal, Minnesota.
Was that directed at me?
What?
Was that directed at me with Unibet?
No.
Okay.
Why would it be directed? No, I'm kidding. Yeah, no, that was directed at you as a joke, but not in a serious way. No, Unibet is fine. Unibet is absolutely fine to use. All right, Montreal and Minnesota. And I should use shitbooks, but I don't use shitbooks, not because of my personal integrity, just because I'm lazy. That's why. All right, so Montreal, Minnesota. Minnesota is a massive favorite here. You know, another typical early November handicapping situation. Minnesota has not been nearly as good as people were expecting them to be preseason. They're returning home now after a 5-game trip. Certainly, over the next couple months, we will see Minnesota be back to where we were expecting them to be preseason, but it hasn't quite shown itself yet. Montreal, coming off of 2 nice wins, blasted St. Louis in their last game, and similar to the other game, to the Philly Rangers game. You know, if you gave me a free play, I would take Montreal, but I'm not going to bet it. And similar to the Rangers game, leaning under. Although Minnesota's first 4 home games this year were very high scoring, that was probably fluky. What do you think about this one, Mr. Gokster?
Well, I think I have a lot of things to say about this game. This is going to be a triple up special. Triple up special on the dog. I'm on Montreal here, guys. 3 ways till you can, or 4 or 5 ways till Sunday, whatever they say. Foligno and Hartman, Pete. I'm trying to get a little update on him. Both they're questionable here. They could be day to day. At least maybe one of them are going to be out. And those are 2 big pieces there for Minnesota. Coming off the road trip again, Chicago, Detroit, Ottawa, Montreal. They actually beat this Montreal team 3-1, I believe it was, not too long ago. So revenge spot for Montreal. They're coming off of some nice wins. 7-4 at St. Louis.
Yeah, sure.
They're scoring. So the one play I want to get right out of the way is Montreal team total over 2.5 plus 102, Pete.
Wow.
I think that's just like not a gift, but like, Jesus, guys. You got Fleury, who's not a top goalie either here. He's 1-1 at home with a .813 save percentage, 5.96 goals against. It's only small sample size. The penalty kill for this team, 75%. Now, Montreal hasn't been humming on the power play yet, but this is a bad spot, I think, for Minnesota, and we're getting a juicy spot here. This price is the same as Philadelphia and New York Rangers. Like it's way, way up there. And I'm going to take Montreal first period, guys, plus 160. Full game, I got plus 200. If there's something better, plus 214, maybe I'd even like that even better. But I found Montreal team total over this morning, just about 20 minutes ago. Just make sure it's still there, Pete. At 2.5 plus 102, and then full game money line, guys. I think this is a Montreal spot. They've been scoring, beating good teams too in Buffalo and St. Louis. And then you got Minnesota with 2 of their key players here, Foligno and Hartman, could not play. There's some question marks there. And also money line here. First period, Minnesota has not won a first period yet at home on the money line. So, and you got them coming off the road trip. I think this is a Montreal spot. I think they can win this game too, Pete. Yeah, I really do. You got the revenge spot too in your factory. The line just seems this should be like a minus 160. This should not be minus 240. This is out of sorts, way out of sorts. So
it's just go ahead.
I think the line's out of sorts. The spot. There's a lot of things that check the boxes here for me with Montreal. So that's why I'm kind of going heavy on them tonight as a Toronto fan.
Yeah, according to the money, half line value on Montreal as well. About half the tickets are on Montreal, but almost all the money, 97% of the money on Montreal, and half line value on Montreal, according to Sports Insights. And as far as the total is concerned, nothing particularly noteworthy. About 2/3 of the tickets and a little more than half of the money on the over, and less of the tickets and the money on the under, but nothing noteworthy as far as the total is concerned. But half line value on Montreal, geez, it's just, God, it's obvious. The line just should not be that big.
Bo Jackson likes the Canadians in regulation. You're getting that like plus 300 or more. That's a juicy price. And I think that could happen too. Team total over on Montreal, guys. You got Fleury. He's not proven himself at all. They're coming off a decent road trip, but they haven't been a team that's been solid by any means. They were really hurting until that road trip. They kind of, straightened the ship there on the road trip. But Montreal, they've looked good. You got a revenge spot too here after only 10 days ago they played, not even too long ago. So, and you should have Jake Allen in net. Give me Montreal.
All right, I'll probably be on this one, but I have Minnesota getting a lot better at some point. very soon, as well as Montreal coming off a 7-goal win. I just can't pull the trigger on it, but I know it's the right play. I'll probably be on it privately by the time the puck drops. But so what do you want officially again, Mr. Gokster?
All three of them. I'm going to take first period plus 160 Montreal, team total over 2.5 plus 102, and then the full game plus 200. So
makes sense. I'm gonna hang off for now though. All right, Boston Pitt, ready, Mr. Gokster? Interesting game. Boston, of course, dominant to start the year. I believe they have the best goal differential in the NHL as of right now. That was not expected, at least based on the preseason analysts that I follow. But very impressive what they've done. Now they're off a long break. Now they're going on the road to Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh returning from a bad trip. They're losing. They're not scoring. And before this game, I did take a shot both with Pittsburgh and with Boston. I'm kind of leaning under here. If Boston does win, I would not at all be surprised if they won 3-2 or 3-1. At the line, I took a shot with Pittsburgh, despite the fact that they've been so terrible in their recent games. The word in the locker room is that they've got to dig in and get a win. Boston is impressive, though. How much of Boston's early season success is real and fundamental? That's the key. Mr. Gokster, what's your take on this one?
Oh, I think it can be fundamental. I think it all starts with the coach. If you got a good coach that knows, how to your practice, it all starts from the bottom up. So I think from the bottom up, it's showing with Boston and Pittsburgh. Letang and Carter are questionable. If you don't have Letang tonight, Pete, that guy moves the puck a lot. He's getting up there in age, but he's definitely moves the puck. He's a real. If they don't have him, that's bad news. I do think it's an underplay. I have a full game first period under written down here. But looking at both teams, they are heavy overs recently. At home, Pittsburgh's 3-0 to the over. Boston's 2-1 to the over on the road. But you got two better goalies here. Yari is 3-0 with a .952 save percentage at home. Ullmark 2-0 with a .958. So it's a back and forth game. If anything, I'd lean a bit towards Boston here. Pittsburgh also have a back-to-back tomorrow. They play at Buffalo. So they don't have. This is just one game at home after being on the road for a while. I think this is an underplay. More I think about it, especially 6.5. That seems way too high. I kind of want to play the full game under here. But what do you think, Pete?
I'm leaning under. I did bet Pittsburgh. My initial bet was definitely the Boston team total under. I got it 3.5 minus 155. It's gotten bet down a little bit since then. I'll start right now just in case the line disappears while we're talking about it. It's 163 at Pinnacle, 160 at Heritage. I'll take that. I'll start with that right now. Boston team total under 3.5 minus 160. That'll be an official play. But then after just looking at it more and then looking at some other numbers, I did and the line being so low, I did pull the trigger on Pittsburgh. And the people who care about there's people who say, well, if you beat the line move, you've won no matter what happens in the game. I do not believe that at all. I don't give a fuck about that shit. I hate it. I hate it when I beat the line move and lose by 50 when the game is actually played. But I took Pittsburgh pretty big when they were at minus 108. Now it's all the way up to minus 124. So a huge market move recently on Pittsburgh. It might go back the other way, but so far there's been a big market move in favor of Pittsburgh, Mr. Gokster.
I don't know about that one. If anything, I'm leaning towards Boston, to be honest.
Yeah.
Penalty kill for Pittsburgh 71% right now. Penalty kill for Boston is 94%. That's huge if you start seeing some guys going to the box. McAvoy's traveling with the team too, so they have their big defenseman. He's traveling with the team, so he could be playing eventually. More I'm thinking about this, Pete. I think I'm going to take a full game under here. What's if you could maybe see Pinnacle? I don't have Pinnacle up right now, but
6.5 minus 114. Maybe Pinnacle's hanging 6.5, 114 for every game on the card. I don't know.
I think this is an underplay, Pete. The only question is, without Letang, that's not as much offense too for Pittsburgh. He's power play. He's a big piece for their offense. So coming off that road trip, have a back-to-back tomorrow for Pittsburgh. You have two top goalies. This just feels like a straight up under game, guys. So you know what? I'm going to take it there, minus 114. Not going to think twice either about it. Krejci's out too, but having McAvoy traveling with the team, I'd be a little weary here with Pittsburgh, but I think under's the play.
I'll go on there with you. I'll double up. I'll take Boston, Pittsburgh under 6.5 minus 114 and the Boston team total under 3.5 minus 160. I'll double up. You're just taking it one way?
Yeah, I'm just going to do the one way, and that is going against the numbers here a little bit, Pete. Just it's a small sample size, 3 games each, home and away splits, but I think this is the under game for the teams.
Yeah, as far as the money is concerned, actually an extremely teeny sliver of line value on Pittsburgh, according to Sports Insights. Of course, that could change. 80% of the tickets, 80% of the cash on Boston, but a teeny sliver of line value on Pittsburgh, according to Sports Insights, and 40% of the tickets, 70% of the cash on the under. So the bigger bets coming in on the under, not a surprise there. I will take that. And go ahead, Gokster.
Our chat here, Franklin, Robert Franklin's on Boston here. Kyle likes the Bees. Bo Jackson, though, says Penn's money line for me unless the Bruins change their goaltender. They got Allmark in there, Bo, so he's the better of the two between him and Swayman. Let's move on.
Yeah, I mean, Bo Jackson says Boston better team, but these games are rigged, my friends, of course. And if it's going to be rigged, it's going to be rigged in the Penguins' direction in this game. So that's another factor that makes me like Pittsburgh as well. Mitch Fearing, Boston definitely the more well-rounded team. I love them here as a dog. Wow, loves them. Bo Jackson, Penn's money line.
Exactly. I'm with Mitch there. And also Turnsey there. I don't mind that no goal first 10 minutes. I don't mind. I like it. I don't know. I like it a little better there in the Philly New York Ranger game, but I think over time, Boston, Pittsburgh shouldn't get too crazy here.
Yeah. Chip Pilar says, I just lose every time I bet on over-under Boston games. Yeah, but I believe I think it was last Tuesday, I bet the Boston team total under at 3.5, and they won the game, but the team total under cashed. So wouldn't it all be surprised if this is a 3-2, 3-1 Boston win and the Boston team total under cashes anyway. All right, Bo Jackson on the Pens. All right, let's move on. Isles and Chicago, Isles 3 straight wins, not bad, and all against strong teams. But now you got Chicago playing well, way better than market valuations. You mentioned that in the beginning of the show, Mr. Gokster. How long is that going to continue? I don't know. This is that's a question for much more astute NHL handicapping minds than mine is. My sense is I don't know. Once again, at this big of a dog line, if you gave me a free play, I'd take Chicago. You have anything on this one, Gokster?
Yeah, I'm gonna take the Islanders here, Pete. To be honest, Zeph Jones, he's a big piece to their defense here. He's out. I'm seeing Tyler Johnson's out. Just defensively, they got problems, guys. Allowing 6 goals to Edmonton, 4 to Buffalo, 5 to Minnesota, and you got an Islanders team that's scoring. They've won their last 3 games: 5 against Colorado, 6 against Carolina, who we all know is a good defensive team, and then 3 against the Rangers, and they shut them out. So I think this is. I'm pretty high on this one, to be honest, Pete. I'm not going to overthink this one. I think Sorokin's much better than his 1-1, .885 save percentage on the road so far. 93% penalty kill too for the Islanders, which should slow down the 26% power play for Chicago. Chicago's also only got a 75% penalty kill in the last 10 days. Shots for, shots against, only 25 shots for, 34 against in the last 10 games for Chicago. So they're not. They're starting to slow down, Pete. This is, I think, a prime example. Maybe Philly were trying to poke holes in. Maybe until that World Series is over, maybe they'll slow down. But I think Chicago is the one we can we can start fading here, guys. And I'm going to do it here. Islanders minus 114 was minus 109 last night, minus 114 currently on the New York Islanders regulation.
Interesting stuff. Interesting. Are you checking Sports Insights before these videos, Mr. It'd be good. It'd be fine if you are, but are you? Is that what you're doing?
No, not at all. I don't know any of that stuff. I don't do any of that stuff.
Well, Sports Insights usually indicates line value on dogs more often than not. But in this situation, full line value on the Islanders, according to Sports Insights, 70% of the tickets, 85% of the cash on the Islanders. And according to Sports Insights, full line value on the Islanders. So Mr. Gokster, not the only great mind who is thinking this way, others as well. And all of the tickets on the over which is interesting. All the money and the tickets coming in on the over in this game, so maybe I could see that. Yeah, the Islanders team total over might be the safest and best way to go. I would not at all be surprised if we check Twitter between now and the first puck drop and we see that Nutflush Allen is saying he's on the Islanders team total over 3.5. That might be the way to go. Wow, so maybe the Islanders are a great play here. Once again, I don't know when the Blackhawks are going to revert back to their preseason expectations. At some point, it almost certainly will, right? There's no way they can maintain how much better they've been against the
They dumped all their good Pete, DeBrincat, Kirby Doc's gone. They're all now without Zeth Jones, which is another big defensive piece. I guess that's why they've been allowing a lot of goals. This Chicago team, I was pretty low on them, Pete, to start. They also got Stalock, who he's not a Stalock kind of goalie up here in the NHL. Is bad.
No, that was good. No, that was.
That was okay. All right. I'll keep going. Stalock guy. He bounced around with Edmonton. He's 3-1-1. He's 3-1-1, Pete, with a .889 save percentage and a 3.37 goals against. To be 3-1 with those numbers, you'd think he'd be 1-1-3. Sorokin, on the other hand, he's a top goalie in this league. Future's bright for him. So healthy Islanders team too, Pete. Give me the Islanders.
Okay. Well, wow. Now I'm thinking, the Islanders team total over, even though it's 3.5. I mean, the Islanders I know that they are trying to get more shots on goal and be more productive offensively in general, aren't they?
Yeah. And I got 33-4, 32 against in the last two games. So they've been, Chicago 25-4, 34 against. They're slowing down, relying on their bad goalie.
Okay, this is a classic example of a team total bet that I wasn't even really thinking about before the video started, but now I'm definitely going to bet and make it official. Not a big price here. Islanders team total over 3.5 minus 105. You can probably shop around and get a better number than that. That's at Pinnacle and at a few other places, but I'm going to make that official. Islanders team total over 3.5 minus 105. Mr. Gokster is on the Islanders. What are your bets again for this game? Your picks
Just
officially?
Islanders three-way guys minus 114.
Okay. All right. Yeah, we got to keep up a brisk pace. We're falling a little bit far behind, but I will take that one. All right. Next game, LA Dallas. I don't know how long we're going to talk about this game. It's an interesting one, but I don't know how to make heads or tails of Dallas right now. Ottinger's out. So that's I'm sorry.
That's huge. That's big.
Yeah, that is huge. They've lost 3 out of 4. They got blasted by the Rangers in their last game. Now Dallas, a young team with some life to them, on a back-to-back, though, after blasting St. Louis yesterday, comes in as a dog. What's up with Dallas? Can they get it done here as a fave? I'm not exactly sure. If you gave me a free play, I guess I would throw it on Dallas to get a win here, but I'm definitely not going to bet it. Haven't bet it yet. What do you think, Ghost?
LA's coming off the back-to-back there. Yeah, Pettersson's in net. Not the greatest save percentage to 2.42. 2.42. Save percentage 0.842, 4.97 goals against. Dallas, with these two goalies, guys, I'd only lean towards the old both teams to score first period, Pete. That would be where I'd look. Byfield's out, though, for LA Kings. He's some offense for that team. Big guy on the ice. Iafallo's still out for them. Ottinger, Heiskanen. Not a strong play. I lean to the full game over if it's still 6, guys, minus 125, 120-ish, Pete. And both teams to score plus 140. I'm gonna lay off that, but I have a pretty strong lean towards that.
I mean, Dallas is still in general vaguely a defense-oriented team, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. They're just that coach they got too. They got DeBoer as their coach, so it's hard to tell kind of when they're showing up and when they're not. They started off really hot, and now they've kind of simmered down. And with Wedgwood and net, it's kind of hard to see. I remember him playing well last year. At certain times, he can come in and kind of steal a couple games, but long term, he's not your goalie. So this is kind of a stay off. It's a tough game.
Spencer Penujej says Dallas all day and the over makes sense. Yeah, I was thinking about the over as well. But you're saying that LA's offensive production might be a little bit minimized here because of guys.
No, not completely, Pete. They're pretty deep offensively, really, and their power play 21% last 10. Dallas is just a flaky. It's tough. I got my Dallas hat on too here. They're a tough team for me to trust, Pete. And then you got LA Kings off the back-to-back. Should Dallas win? Yeah, if Wedgwood plays well, they should win this game. They should, but you got Wedgwood, and he's 0-1 with a 0.765 goals against at home. So it's
all right. Yeah, I'm gonna hold off the over. I don't want it to be 4-1 coming down the stretch and praying for a fluky goal so I get a push on that one. But I'd be leaning over. All right, next game, Nashville, Edmonton. Nashville. I was a little bit surprised. If someone earlier in the show was saying that the bookies fix the line to attract action one way because they're setting a trap. I was a little bit surprised to see this line so low for Edmonton. Obviously, Nashville struggling, not good overall, off a shutout loss. Edmonton absolutely rolling, returning from a 3-game trip for sure. So that's not a great spot for them. But why would this line be so low? I mean, we no problem hanging 220s, 280s in the NHL these days. Edmonton at home against Nashville, -160. What's up with that? And why not the Edmonton team total over? What's your take on this one, if anything, Gokster?
I think the books have been wrong on Nashville. They have been. I remember them having this team heavy favorite at home against, Philadelphia. They lost 3-1. They did beat St. Louis and lost 3-0 against Washington. This team's been, I think the books have been, they seem to love Nashville, or they think very highly of them. You can tell. Edmonton, they've 31% power play compared to a 7% power play, Pete, for Nashville. This is another game I don't really want much to do with. Nashville's been a real disappointment, probably the biggest disappointment in the league so far. Saros, too, for how good he's looked in the last few years. He's just getting lit up. And their team, it hasn't looked that much different on paper, but you know what? It's got to start from the bottom up. So look at the coach, kind of like whatever they're doing is not working. So and they got a road trip coming up here. So they got their West Coast road trip. It's not a spot I'd like to take Nashville. I lean towards Edmonton. I'd have to, but it's not a game. I just got question marks written all over the place.
Yeah. Well, 50% of the tickets, 80% of the cash on Edmonton, but no line value according to Sports Insights, and 75% of the tickets and the cash on the over. So that's not a surprise there. I guess I would be leaning towards the over, if anything. Yeah. Not sure if I want to pull the trigger on that. And the Dallas game, I didn't give the money stuff, but 75% of the cash. Sorry, 75% of the tickets, 85% of the cash on Dallas, but no line value according to Sports Insights. So none of that has been respectable action. And everything on the under, though. Look at that. 35% of the tickets, 90% of the cash on the under in the Dallas game. So maybe I could see it being like 4-1 Dallas or something like that.
It's a state. Like both these games, they're tough, Pete. These are probably the two games I don't have like the least amount of action on. So save some time.
Chris Pilar says Nashville has been sleepwalking. Andrew G. Oilers roll. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, no, I agree with everyone in the chat here with what they're saying with Edmonton. Nashville has been sleepwalking. Oilers Flames moneyline parlay. I don't mind that. I actually got a moneyline parlay coming up, Rocco. Yeah, what's going on, Fat Wally? Appreciate you tuning in. Yeah, hit the like button there. Appreciate that.
No, that's just how they say it in Canada. They say it bucking.
Yeah, hit the like button. Bucking. At this point in time, I haven't much sleep, a little bit of coffee, back problems too. Tweak the back at work there, Pete. Holy jeez. I
would love to talk about that a little bit more, except we got to keep a brisk pace. But I hope you're feeling better, Mr. Goetzer. All right, I want to pull the trigger so bad on Edmonton team total over 3.5 -115. Just such a no-brainer thing to do, right?
On Edmonton, yeah, it's
over.
Desperate teams though, Pete.
Yeah,
it's a desperate hockey team, so you never know. And you got a goalie who's been solid in his history, so he could show up here.
All right, let's move on then. All right, you ready? Seattle, Calgary. Man, another one of these lines, man. This one makes more sense to me. If there was any of these -250 favorites on today's card that I'd want to pull the trigger with, it would be Calgary. If you gave me a free play and I had to put it on any of the -250 range favorites in the NHL today, I would choose Calgary as the one to do it. But still, Seattle, clearly the inferior team, but they're not bad. They're off a nice win, kind of 50-50, such a huge line. I don't know. And I don't really want to take a shot with the over or the under here. Calgary doesn't often get to 4. They're not, when they're a good bet to win a game, they're not necessarily a good bet to go over a team total of 3.5. So it's a tough one. Calgary, a huge fave. What do you think, Gokster?
I'm on Calgary here with a moneyline parlay. They're coming off a loss against Edmonton, Pete. Battle of Alberta. That was at home. That's always a tough game. And then you got Pittsburgh, who was playing a Pittsburgh team who was coming off that rough road trip, last game of the road trip. Seattle's a real Jekyll and Hyde team, guys. They can score with the best of them. If you ask me, they got 4 lines that can score, but goaltending wise, Grubauer's out. Jones has been relied on a lot defensively too. Vince Dunn and company. They're not that solid. Over time, 60 minutes, this should be a Calgary win, Pete. Both teams have been trending to the overs. I have here home and away splits. Donskoy is also out for Seattle. Calgary is completely healthy, which is key. Coming off the loss, Markstrom 4-1 at home, and also 66% penalty kill for Seattle on the road. That's not going to get things done. 22% power play for Calgary, Pete. Give me Calgary on the money line parlay. I was going to take regulation, but just a little juicy for me.
Chris Comatini says Flames don't overthink this. Yeah, Rocco Rogers love Calgary today. Rocco Rogers says I'm on puck line 2. All right, let's quickly check the money, and then I think I might throw on Calgary at -1, even though it's a big line there. Yeah, here we go. 91% of the tickets on Calgary, but only 65% of the cash. But small line value on Calgary, according to Sports Insights.
Calgary.
Oh, is it Calgary? Okay.
Calgary. Sorry.
Calgary.
Calgary.
So yeah, there you go. Small line value on Calgary, according and everything is on the over as well. I'd love to take the Calgary team total over. I'll start with Calgary -1 at -157 as an official play. I'll take that one. Calgary -1, -157. Kind of want to double up and take the team total over. What's your take on Seattle defensively?
Not the greatest, to be honest, Pete. And their coach too here with Hackstall there. This team should be better, I think, than what they are. They just need a goalie. And defensively too. Offensively, they're fine, Pete, but against a team like this, I think they're 60 minutes. They should struggle. First period, I don't want to take Calgary. You never know with Seattle; they can't come out scoring. But defensively,
they've only given up more than 3.5 goals once all season to Buffalo. One game.
Seattle,
yeah,
on the road, eh?
Yeah, they went into Edmonton, won 4-3, held them to 3. They played Edmonton twice, held them to 3 goals. Vegas, Colorado, all these teams. They faced Buffalo at home once and gave up 6. Every other game has been under 3.5 for the opposing.
I would feel stronger. I don't think. I know I've been talking a lot about how well Seattle can score, but I don't think Seattle's going to score much here. I don't. It could be. I think 3-1, 4-2, 4-1. I don't think Seattle score more than 2, Pete. To be honest, gut feel. That's what I think. Calgary is completely healthy, and they allowed 1 against Pittsburgh, 2 against Carolina, 3 against Edmonton. Okay, coming off a loss, but they've held 2 solid teams to under 2 goals there, and you got Seattle who are okay offensively, but I think just Calgary money line. I feel stronger with the -1 on Calgary.
Okay. I probably will add on the Calgary team total over as well, but I guess I'll hold off on it for an official play. Florida, Arizona, the next game. Here we go. Arizona losing, but the last 2 are close against decent teams. They're playing in that 5,000-seat arena. It's small. It's intimate. Maybe they have a little bit of a chip on their shoulder when they're at home, and that doesn't necessarily mean they're a good bet to win against teams that outclass them, but maybe it means they are a good bet to keep it close. As a huge dog, I was thinking about Arizona +2 here at like -150, 160, something like that. Florida, nice win in their last game. Again, a lot of shots on goal, but in general, kind of 50-50. What do you think about this one? Arizona maybe as a dog get +2 or something like that?
If anything, Pete, I maybe lean towards Arizona first period, like a +0.5. I think over time, because at that barn, it's similar to here where I am, Pete. I got about a 4,000, 4,500 seat barn, and at beginning of games, atmospheres it gets loud. It's smaller the barn too. You should have crazy fans, hockey fans at least when you got 4,500. Yeah. It gets, as game goes on though, it starts to lose its buzz a bit, and Florida's the better hockey team. Ekblad out though doesn't, he's been hurt a lot. Him being out doesn't help. I have him being out. Schmaltz is out. Timmins is questionable. Chychrun too. He's a big one for Arizona. He's out. So defensively, that's even offensively, he's their best defensive player. So at the start of the game, I think advantage, to the Coyotes a bit still with only being their 3rd home game here. Vejmelka, he's okay. But Bobrovsky too. Jimmy said it too. A lot of people have said it. He could lose that job to Spencer Knight anytime now. So I'm gonna take Florida here, guys. It's gonna be the addition in the money line parlay, Pete.
Wow.
I'm gonna take them with Calgary. It was minus 102 minus 103, sorry, just before the show. So I think just money line, just in case one of these games somehow go to overtime. I don't see that happening, but I think Florida, Calgary money line parlay should cash you guys some tickets here.
So you wouldn't really I'm seeing Arizona +2 at minus 142. That is pretty tempting. But again, then to cash it, they got to lose by 1 or win it.
I think it's tight. It could be a 2-goal game. I think Florida get her done. In the end, they've averaged 40 shots their last 10 games, 28 against. Arizona's 24-4, 35 against. It's just going to be a barrage of pucks for Vejmelka. First period though, you never know with Arizona and the barn how they come out. But over time, Florida, they should be fine here. Money line.
All right, I'm gonna hold off this as far as an official play is concerned, but +2.5 at minus 188 is looking very tempting for Arizona.
I don't mind that. I'm just looking at. Sorry, Pete. They lost against Chicago on the road 4-2. Lost against Philadelphia 4-3. Florida on the road. So they haven't been that strong. That's why I think it's all right, guys. You're playing Arizona. If you can't win this one on the road too, it could be closer than you think because Florida hasn't been as impressive. But I just don't want to talk you off that +2. I guess is what I'm kind of getting at. Yeah, it's. They
played. Arizona played the Rangers and Winnipeg tough at home, right?
Yeah, you're right. They did. The spot here for Florida too. They're coming off a home game, so they haven't been on a long road trip. They had that one game against Ottawa. I don't want to talk you off the Arizona +2, but I do think Florida get her done.
I'll hold off for now. All the money and the tickets are on Florida, and small line value on Florida, according to Sports Insights. Not much less than half, but more than a sliver of line value on Florida, and everything coming in on the over as well. All right, let's move on. New Jersey and Vancouver. Vancouver off of 2 nice 5-goal wins. Long break, right? They were one of these teams that was inexplicably awful based on preseason analysis to start the year. Have they turned the corner now? Maybe they have. The Devils are also winning off a 7-1 win. I was thinking maybe a shot with the over, wondering why it was so low. Maybe think about buying to 6. Leaning Vancouver, leaning over. What do you think about this one, Gokster?
I agree with that towards the over. The Devils, though, I remember they played Washington, I think it was at home. They lost that game, last week. But then after that, guys, they beat Detroit 6-2, Colorado 1-0, Columbus 7-1, Pete. It's a much better hockey team. If they're getting goaltending, that's why they're winning. Blackwood, he should be in net tonight. Vanecek's been a lot better than his first game of the year. Looking at my notes here, Vancouver have a lot of injuries, Pete. Dermott, Pullman, Hughes, Lazar, Stillman, and now Besser. Looks like they're all out. So they got a lot of injuries, Vancouver. This line, I think this is a Devils play. I have it written down. I'm just trying to see if I can talk myself maybe off the Devils, but they're just they got a 93% penalty kill too, Pete, on the road. Compared to the Vancouver Canucks penalty kill, 63%. It should get better. But also goals or shots for, shots against, 37 shots for the Devils in the last 10, 23 against. There's a nice +14 differential there. I think Devils should. This game could get up there with goals, but with the injuries on defense to Vancouver, the teams, even though they've won their last couple games, they've looked a little bit better. But don't get confused. I still think they got problems, and I think the Devils, Pete, are a much better team maybe than people are giving them credit for.
No, I agree with you. As of right now, I would, it's a nice 2 back-to-back game winning streak to maybe turn things around. But I think that they're going to regress back to slumping and giving up leads and all that. I don't hate a play on the Devils here at all. I think I'm going to pass on it though. Sports Insights indicates very, very tiny but non-zero line value on the Devils. 72% of the tickets, 84% of the cash on the Devils, and small line value for the Devils, and majority of the bets and slightly bigger bets also on the over, leaning over. So that's what I was thinking as well. So maybe a shot with New Jersey team total over 3.5 at plus money. What do you think about that? Is New Jersey? I don't know, man. I don't like to bet team total overs when a team is coming off like a 7-goal win, though. You know what I mean?
Well, I think we're at another. The money's with us again. I swear I didn't see Sports Insights.
No, it's okay.
But Devils, the team total over. I wouldn't. Yeah, I pretty strong lean actually towards that. Their goaltending, Demko is just being relied on a lot. Defensively, they're missing. You're missing Dermott, Poolman, Hughes, and now you're without Lazar and Besser, as you guys all know. Offensively, they're okay. They're probably above par in my opinion, but defensively, and then it's going to be tough. And 37 shots from the Devils in the last 10 games. Yeah. I think it's going to be too much for Vancouver. Team total over the Devils. I wouldn't talk you off it.
All right, I'd be leaning New Jersey, but I'm going to pass on it for now. And then the last game on the card, Anaheim and San Jose. San Jose playing very competitively against good teams. How long will that last? Anaheim, some of the guys that we talked to, listened to, including Ian Cameron, legendary Bobano, was kind of high on Anaheim to start the year, and wasn't really panning out the way he projected. But maybe that will start to show itself in upcoming weeks. Anaheim is finally off of an OT win. Before that, they couldn't really beat anyone. Market-wise, as far as their valuations, San Jose has clearly been way, way better. Not sure what I think about this one. What do you have? Do you have anything to say about this one, Gokster?
Well, the injuries right now for Anaheim, Drysdale just went out, looks like, for a while. He went down last game, so that's a nice young defenseman that they just lost. Pretty key piece for the team. Carrick's also out. It's defensively, they got problems. They're just such a young team, Pete. I was not as high, to be honest, as other maybe people, as Babano on this team. Just they're very young. McTavish, I think in a few years, they should be fine as long as you don't lose some big names to free agency. But San Jose, they've actually been a little bit better, I think, than beating Toronto 4-3. They did lose to Tampa Bay barely 4-3. Both teams are allowing goals. I'm not going to play this one, guys, short and sweet, but my notes have both teams to score first period. I think that could hit. Both teams are Anaheim's 4-2 to the over, and San Jose's 3-3. So kind of a split there, but I think San Jose do get her done here. But you have Kakinen going in net for San Jose, so he's the backup of the two. I'm not a big fan of Kakinen, to be honest. But Anaheim 7% power play, Pete, 92% penalty kill for the Sharks. So it's not a game I love. I think San Jose do win this game, especially after Anaheim did come back against Toronto. I think that's a pretty big win for them. And San Jose is coming off that 4-3 loss. So I have a lean towards San Jose money line. Not going to play it, though.
JPZ, I've jumped on the Sharks this morning. I watched this team. They're not bad. Yeah. I mean, based on how they've done – go ahead.
I think they're better than Anaheim.
Certainly based on how they've done this year so far, they've had far more betting value than Anaheim. And Sports Insights indicates very tiny but non-zero value on San Jose. About half the money, half the tickets are on San Jose, but small line value on San Jose according to Sports Insights, and bigger bets coming in on the under. Half the tickets on the under, but 80% of the cash on the under as well. So
I think I disagree heavily with that. I think this is I think this could be an over. I think this is an over with Kakinen and net, Pete, and you have Gibson and you're missing Drysdale. I don't see how both these teams have been trending pretty high to the over too. What's the line on that?
It was low. It was like 5.5 on the overnight line. It's now 6 juice to the under, I think.
How do you not take the over 5.5 there? I'm going to lay off that. I'm surprised that line's so low, guys. I don't think any of them are on back-to-backs. They're not on back-to-backs tomorrow. I'm surprised by that one, Pete.
All right. Well, we could review all the games, and maybe I'd throw on a few other official plays based on some leans that I had while we were analyzing it. But as of right now, we got to keep it brisk pace and get to everything: college football, NBA, everything. To review my official plays: Ottawa first period plus a half goal minus 155. Vegas Caps under 6.5 minus 114. Boston Bruins, team total under 3.5, -160. And Boston Pitt, under 6.5, -114. Isles, team total over 3.5, -105. And Calgary, -1, -190, -157. Also leaning Calgary, team total over. Mr. Goatster, review your official plays with us, please.
All right, I'm on the Islanders three-way, guys, -114. I'm on Florida Calgary, a money line parlay, -103. I'm on the Devils money line, -120, guys. I got the Ottawa Senators, my Senators, first period +150 with Pete. I'm on three ways with Montreal. Go Habs, go here, guys. Montreal Canadiens first period +155. Full game team total over 2.5. Montreal +102. Full game money line +205. And Vegas -120, along with the Rangers Philly no goal in the first 10 minutes +135. Pistol.
Thank you very much, Mr. Gokster. All right. Yeah, and a lot of leans. I'll probably be on a bunch of other plays tonight in NHL, but we don't have time to go over everything with a fine-toothed comb. Mr. Gokster, thank you so much. We'll see you again next week. All right, pal?
All right, guys. Be good. Cash some tickets. We'll see you next week, Pete.
Sounds good. Sounds awesome. Sounds awesome. All right. Now we are going to get to the 4-game NBA card. Again, my NBA this year, overall, I've changed up what I do. It's got a little bit better, although in these shows, not much better at all. I believe I'm officially still on the schneid, but I expect things to get a little bit more decent as things go on, as the weeks move forward, although that might be wishful thinking. I don't think so. I think I'll be all right. There's a couple of plays that I did already bet on today's card. We have Dan Kelly hitting us up with some insights. Thank you so much, Dan Kelly. And to help me and all of us make heads or tails of these 4 games, please welcome back to the show, Trotwam. Trotwam, how you doing there, pal? How you doing there, pal? Oh, no, it's Babano.
It's Babano.
I said, man, if I look like Trotwam, then I maybe got up in the wrong side of the bed this morning or something.
Oh, wow. What a surprise. See, I was doing all because I'm so immersed in college football and trying to prepare for college basketball. All right, everyone.
Trotwam later today on the NBA Pub Hub with Durrell and with Dutch.
Absolutely. Welcome. You know, I host the third best NHL handicapping show anywhere on the net. I'm very proud of that. The number 1 show anywhere on the net, though, is the Ice Guys. Alex B. Smith, Ian Cameron, Babano. Everyone tune into that every day. Such a valuable show, Ian Babano. For me personally, not because of the picks. It's because of the analysis and helps my thought process for that day and for games.
I appreciate that, Pete. We really do. We
really
try to
valuable.
do as in-depth analysis as we can. And we're the only show that breaks down every single NHL game on the board every single day, all season long, every game. It's covered for you on the Ice Guys show, and we're building a very strong following. 10,000 podcast downloads monthly, video views to thousands daily. So and it's growing, and we wouldn't be able to do it without the people that tune in.
Absolutely. All right, that is the Ice Guys once again. All right, NBA, Ian Cameron. Let's get into it very quickly, though. We do want to keep a brisk pace, but how is NBA treating you so far this year? Any thoughts in general on NBA in general? Give us your 20 seconds.
Slight profit, not much. It's like a little smidget of profit for me so far in the NBA, but we'll take it. It's been a little bit better the last few days. First couple weeks were kind of a struggle, but the last few days have been a little bit better. Last night was a slight profitable night. Raptors were my best bet on the Pub Hub yesterday. That got there easily in their win against Atlanta. 4-game card tonight. There are a couple things I like. Nothing I love, but interesting card, even though it's a short one.
All right. Well, we can start with Bulls Nets. I did bet the under on this one and the first quarter under as well. Dan Kelly has hit us up with some awesome information. He likes the second half over, which is okay. I can understand that. And he also likes Bulls fourth quarter. Bulls fourth quarter. Bulls on 2 days rest. Nets second off a back-to-back and 6th game in 9 days. Yeah, the Nets are a little bit probably a little bit weird right now, although it is the beginning of the season. I'm not that good at eyeballing NBA weariness, especially in the beginning of the year. I did have the Pacers last night, plus all those points, and I had them again second half. I was very happy. I went to bed before the game was over, and I was like, oh, God, I might take a huge loss. Thank God they covered both of those, but it was close. I guess I'd be leaning Bulls here, but much more strongly leaning Nets. The Bulls are, have notably started off games relatively weak, putting themselves behind the 8 ball. So I believe they're going to be more focused on a strong early start here, which probably means a stronger defensive effort here. So I'm liking the first quarter under and full game under in general. Babano, what's your take on this one?
Yeah, this is a Bulls or pass spot for me. I'm not laying points with the Nets. And even last night on back-to-back situation, they've played a lot of games. It's definitely a huge rest advantage in favor of the Bulls tonight. And look, Brooklyn was supposed to crush Indiana last night. Indiana's not a good basketball team, and they lost as 11-point home favorites to the Pacers on Saturday. They were supposed to go out there last night and dominate. Well, they did for a quarter, and then after that, you really couldn't tell who the better team was. Right. And Brooklyn had to just struggle and grind and battle their way to a 7-point win, which actually wouldn't have covered, the closing number in that game because it was around 8.5 there. So this Nets team is just out of whack right now. I mean, I know they got the win last night, but it was not pretty. Defensively, they at least were a little bit better than they've been. But the fact that we're going to celebrate a performance that Brooklyn gives up 47% from the field and call that a defensive improvement, I mean, to me, that's not much of one. If you ask me, this team's still struggling to get stops. Now, they did play without Ben Simmons, and of course, he's there for defense. He was out last night due to injury. They were hopeful they're going to get him back tonight for the second of these back-to-back games against Chicago, but that's not a sure thing yet. He's still listed as a game-time decision right now for Brooklyn. Steph Curry, also a game-time decision tonight for the Brooklyn Nets. Actually, he's out. Or he was out last night. We'll see if he's back tonight. Again, left ankle injury. It could be a load management deal. It could be a he ain't ready to come back yet deal. We'll have to wait and see. Same with Simmons. He missed last night. It actually looks like just reported that he's out again tonight, Ben Simmons, for the Brooklyn Nets. So that actually pivots me toward the over when I see that because that's obviously defense that you're missing for Brooklyn with Ben Simmons out. And he's not going to give you offense. So it actually makes them a better offensive team as well. You have a better offensive lineup. That's the way I always view it. Ben Simmons in versus Ben Simmons out. Ben Simmons in, you're going to be better defensively. Ben Simmons out, you're going to be better offensively. So I'm kind of leaning over. I might end up on this Chicago side. I mean, now with Simmons out, there's some twos, and I'm seeing it drop to 1.5. I know this is an erratic Bulls team. In fact, this is a Bulls team I bet against more than I've bet on. But it's a spot-driven league sometimes. You can't deny this is a Bulls spot. They've lost 2 in a row. They've had 2 full days off. Brooklyn's playing on a back-to-back, 3rd game in 4 nights as well for Brooklyn. It's not like this team has put good games together back-to-back very often this year. I think Chicago will make my card. In fact, I'm going to lock it in now because this number is going to disappear. Chicago +2.
Wow. Yeah, a lot of Bulls love and Nets hate coming in on the comments section. Coin likes Chicago +2. Let's see. Dan Kelly says he's sorted those stats for second week of the season. Thank you, Dan Kelly. Thank you so much for all you do for this show and for all of us, this community in general. He says it's obvious that KD and Irving are getting old. It's always about the marginal step. Yeah, I mean, as soon as you lose a quarter step in the NBA, bam, you're gone.
This guy's a piece of work, really, this Ben Simmons. I'm telling you what. I mean, hopeful to rejoin with the knee issue, the knee soreness. That's what it's not even like a fracture or a broken knee or a fractured knee or anything like that. It's just some left knee soreness. He was out last night. They were hoping he'd be back tonight, but apparently it will require additional rest. Suck it up and play.
Mm-hmm. Wow, Woo Rizzo like coming in.
Left knee soreness, my foot. My ass. Get out there and play. I'm sick of this guy, being so soft. Really soft.
I hear you.
Not willing to improve his shot. Not willing to improve his free throws. Not willing to do things to make the team good. Sick of the guy.
Wow, Lee Davis, Nets spot, in my opinion. Woo Rizza, Nets money line. Pick them. Not a large spread for the Nets, so some Nets love now coming in. Barista at Starbucks. I would not want Ben Simmons on my team. Exactly, I hear you. Get him the fucking croissant. Just fucking get it. Stop complaining about your angle. Wow, okay. Wow, so maybe my underplays were bad. So you don't like the under here?
Yeah, I mean... The under made sense. The under still it is a high total. I will say that. And Brooklyn, at least last night, the focus for them was we've got to clean it up defensively. We have to. We just can't be giving up, 129, 50% shooting to Dallas, 40 of 94, 125 to Indiana the first time they played the pace. And they were better, but still gave up 47%. And the thing with the Bulls is we know that they're not the best defensive team in the world either, but they can score, they can light it up. So, and of course, Simmons being out, I think that's a plus offensively, negative defensively for Brooklyn. So that's why I pivoted. I don't love the over, but I'd certainly lean that way now. And the total's actually going up. 230.
Yes, I was just going to say that as we're talking, as we're analyzing here, the total is going up.
Conceptually, it makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, your faster pace, better offense, worse defense without Simmons for Brooklyn.
Right after I said that I took the under, about 30 seconds after that.
It's not got anything to do with that.
Yeah, people say I can't move markets. I can move markets. Wow. All right.
The other direction. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. I don't know. I think I'm gonna stay off it for now. We'll see where the later money comes in, where the lines move. According to Sports Insight, some small value, tiny value on the Bulls. Half of the tickets and 85% of the cash on the Bulls. So the bigger bets coming in on the Bulls, and very, very small line value on the Bulls. And everything was coming in on the under, 50% of the tickets and 90% of the cash on the under. But obviously some market moving bets have very recently come in on the over. Okay. So I'm sorry, anything official for you, Ian, on this one?
Chicago. Yeah. Chicago.
Right. All right, I'm gonna hold off. I'm gonna hold off on this one. An interesting game. Next game, Golden State and Miami.
I'm actually going to get in on that over as well. 230.
Oh, you are? You're making that official?
Convinced, yeah.
All right. What line are you seeing? Like 232?
Let me just see. I've got my special bet stamp app, which is phenomenal, by the way. We'd always make sure that whenever I lock in something, we can get the absolute best we can. No, 230.5 points bet, minus 108. Let's rock that in.
MDR24 also says that according to Sports Insights, there's a 99.9% chance that Simmons is a pussy. So, and that's just according to Sports Insights.
Move that up to 100.
All right. Let's see. Next game is Golden State, Miami. The Warriors, of course, lost 5 of 6 ATS. Not a huge surprise there. We know they're going to get their wins, but likely to be overvalued in general over a large sample of games. The one ATS win, though, was at home against Miami, and they have been going all over so far this year. Miami also not doing well against the spread. 1-6 against the spread. Both teams seem a little out of sync right now. I'm sure that very astute and insightful NBA handicappers have an angle here with value. I don't know what it is. As of right now, it's a scary game for me to bet. Pass for me. You have anything on this one, Ian Cameron?
This one is probably going to be a pass for me. I'll tell you what, Oklahoma City, incredible run they've had the last 3 games. It has been special to see the way they've played. It's supposed to be maybe the worst team in the NBA, according to many, coming into the year. Yet they've won 3 in a row. They've beat the stumbling Clippers, who just barely escaped with their life against Houston. Last night. They beat the Clippers back-to-back, this OKC team. And then they were down huge against Dallas.
Were you talking about OKC?
Yeah, Oklahoma City. Yeah.
Oh.
They were down huge against Dallas.
Right. Wait, I thought we're doing the Miami game?
Yeah, they rallied back. They
right. Okay, right. Go ahead.
They rallied back. They won outright 117-111. Incredible. I mean, the effort and the effort's been there. The defense has been there. I think defensively they've played pretty solidly. To hold Dallas to 38-95. The Clippers games, they couldn't shoot hardly at all. They shot better the second game, but the first game, I mean, they've been better defensively. This Thunder team than I thought they would be this year, which has been impressive. They've just been a team that's given all-out effort, and that's what it's going to take, because there's going to come a point when eventually the talent takes over and they're going to get outmanned. On a lot of nights. Josh Giddey, by the way, has missed the last 3 games with a right ankle sprain, questionable for tonight. Other than that, they're pretty healthy. Orlando's still banged up in the backcourt.
Yeah, wait, Ian, hold on. I think we're supposed to be doing the Miami game.
No, we're doing OKC Orlando.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Then we're going to do Miami next?
Yeah, we'll do Miami after that.
Oh, okay. Oh, so you go in rotation number order.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Orlando, OKC. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, okay. You want to do Miami first. Okay.
I introed it as Miami.
Big deal. That's okay. We'll do Orlando. We'll do Miami after, yeah. But, Orlando's very much banged up in the backcourt going into this game. We've got Suggs, game time decision. Cole Anthony's missed time. Markelle Fultz hasn't played yet this year. Gary Harris has been out, but and they've struggled. There's no question about that. Their only victory, they're 1-6 straight up this year, 2-4-1 against the spread. Only victory at home against Charlotte. So it's not like I'm running to take 3 here with Orlando as a road underdog, but Oklahoma City, even though they're the team in better form, 3 straight wins, 3 straight covers. After that huge comeback against Dallas, you come back home, you face, a lowly Orlando team. Doesn't it feel like it's a bad spot for OKC? It does to me. I mean, I feel like I want to back OKC. They're the better team. They're certainly better defensively right now, but it feels like a clunker is right around the corner for the Thunder after the 3-game swatch they just had. So that's why I'm going to stay off the game. I think I could only take the Thunder based on current form, but I don't love this spot, and I'm still not really ready to rush to lay points with a team that at the end of the season is still going to be pretty bad.
Yeah, I did take a small shot on the overnight line with the Thunder. Made me nervous, but I did take a shot with it. Sports Insight says small line value on OKC, 25% of the tickets, 50% of the cash on. Small line value on Orlando is what Sports Insight says. 25% of the tickets and 50% of the cash on Orlando. And again, very small line value there. Bigger bets coming in on the under, 60% of the tickets and 80% of the cash coming in on the under, and the total has been heading down a bit recently. Yeah, I was just thinking that OKC. I might have made a mistake there. A small bet. I don't expect to do that great in the NBA, but I was expecting that OKC's ATS success and Orlando's ATS sluggishness was more likely than not to continue in this one, especially with OKC playing so well defensively. But you like anything official for you, Ian, again?
Yeah, not in this game.
Not in this game.
That's for me.
But if you had a free bet, you'd put it on Orlando, huh?
No, I'd actually put it on OKC because I just think Orlando's bad right now. Their only win was against Charlotte, and I think they caught Charlotte in a back-to-back as well.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the only victory they've got. Is they're not playing good ball. They're just riddled and shorthanded, depleted big time in the backcourt. That could be trouble against SGA. Who, as you know, has been just magnificent. And I'm not saying that because he's from my hometown of Hamilton, Ontario, Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, but he is a hell of a player. He's had an incredible start. He's averaging 31 points per game. He's been absolutely sensational. He had 38 in the win against Dallas over the weekend. So he is balling right now. SGA, my man from Hamilton.
Yeah.
So that right there, he trumps anything Orlando has available in their depleted backcourt right now.
Spencer Penije with some props here that he's liking. SGA for 30+, Banchero for 25+, and Orlando money line. Yeah, and again, according to Sports Insights here, very small line value on Orlando as of right now. That could change. All right, let's move on to a Golden State and Miami. Ian Cameron, again, both of these teams with bad ATS to start the year. Both seem a little bit out of sync. Scary game for me to bet on. So far, it's going to be a pass for me. What do you think about this one?
This is one that's confounding to me. Like, I can't take Miami right now. Miami is just too. They've been disappointing. They haven't covered at home either. 0-4 against the spread. That being said, Golden State 0-3 straight up, 0-3 against the spread on the road. So something's got to give here. I don't want to fade Golden State in a spot like this. This is a championship pedigree team. They got him humbled, I think, in the first 2 games of this road trip this weekend. I mean, you lose to Charlotte and you lose to Detroit, and you get blown out by Detroit to boot. I would think you get Golden State's A game. I would think you get everybody on the floor tonight: Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Wiggins, Draymond Green. You would think they're all going to play tonight, in this one. But I will not go against Golden State off the 2 kind of losses they had over the weekend. Can't do it, especially with a Miami team that's not playing the same level of defense. I mean, Miami's defensive rating has plummeted big time. I mean, they're giving up 45% shooting. It's just numbers you don't typically expect from this Miami team. I mean, they're 17th. This was a perimeter defense that locked you down last year, near the top in the NBA. This year, they're giving up 39% from 3-point range, 26th. In the NBA. And if you're doing that against Golden State, that's going to be trouble with the backcourt 3-point perimeter firepower that obviously they have. So, yeah, it's Golden State or pass for me. It is like a turnaround revenge situation for Miami because they lost at the New Oracle last week to Golden State, 123-110. So that might keep me off the game, but Golden State or nothing for me.
Yeah, according to Sports Insights, small line value on Miami. 34% of the tickets and 70% of the cash on Golden State. So the bigger bets definitely coming in on Golden State, but some influential bets coming in on Miami. The public and some influential bets, both like in Miami here. And Sammy Calmer says this line screams Miami wins, but don't want to fade Golden State off two embarrassing losses. Coin leans Miami here. Revenge motivation spot from last week's L. Yeah, that is true. That the only ATS win that Golden State has had this year was against Miami. And Lee Davis, small edge for me on Miami as well. So maybe Miami's the play. Our astute handicappers in the comments section like in Miami. Sports Insight says small line value on Miami as well. And as far as the total is concerned, nothing noteworthy. About half of the tickets and 60% of the cash on the over in that one, which I'd be leaning over as well. What the hell do I know? All right, let's move on. And also, Wu Rizza says he thinks that that's a letdown spot for OKC, which does make sense. All right,
feels like it. That's why I'm like, I got to pump the brakes on taking OKC in that game. They're certainly better form right now than Orlando, but gosh, when you come back from double digits down, roar back, beat Dallas in overtime, a very good team, and you're coming back, it just feels a mile away like there's a stink bomb coming for the Thunder tonight. We'll see.
Yeah. Okay, last game on the card, Minnesota Phoenix. I did bet this one. Not sure if I made a mistake. I did beat the small move so far. I took Minnesota +4 against Phoenix. Now I'm seeing it down to 3.5 or so. We'll see where it closes. But Minnesota, of course, off a bad road loss to Spurs. They were playing decently before that. Phoenix, 4 straight ATS wins, a quality team, of course. They're going to be out without DeAndre Ayton, but this guy, Landale is maybe a decent replacement with some energy and some fire. The Suns, tend to do well against Minnesota recently, but based on some things that I look at, I thought it was worth a shot to take a shot with Minnesota at 4. I did take it. Total seems like it's gotten bet down a little bit as well recently. You have anything on this one, Ian?
Yeah, obviously. This is a troublesome matchup. I would agree with you. I like actually the over and Minnesota in this game as official plays. I like the spot here for Minnesota. You're right. They're coming off a disappointing, disheartening loss. It's not easy to go against Phoenix. Nice 5-1 straight up, 4-2 against the spread start. They're playing good basketball, but I think this will be tough here matchup wise without DeAndre Ayton on the floor for the Phoenix Suns. You got to deal with Rudy Gobert. You got to deal with Karl Anthony Towns. That front court, I think it's going to be a little bit more tougher for them to deal with that tonight, minus DeAndre Ayton. So I think it's an opportunity here for Minnesota to bounce back. They've had a day off following that disappointing loss to San Antonio. We'll see if they can bounce back. I think the idea of catching points with them, and then Phoenix is 4 straight wins and covers, playing well, but I think they're going to miss DeAndre Ayton more from a matchup standpoint tonight in this game. Against Minnesota. So I don't mind the idea of taking points with the Timberwolves. I did bet it earlier too, like you, but unfortunately we got to give out the number that's currently available right now on the show. And it looks like we've got +4 -113 at Bet99 for that Minnesota side. So we'll go with that. Minnesota +4 -113. And I actually like points in this game. I'm actually a little surprised the total's going in the downward direction to the extent that it is. So I'm going to go over 220 because I think Minnesota is going to score a lot at the rim tonight without Ayton. And at the and on the flip side, you've got a Minnesota team, Pete, that's 4th in the NBA in pace, possessions per game, playing very fast. At that end of the basketball court, I thought they'd slow it down a lot with Gobert, and that would impact their totals and their pace numbers. But they're still playing fast, even with Gobert now on the team. D'Angelo Russell, Karl Anthony Towns, Anthony Edwards. I mean, they have been absolutely rolling offensively. And then you look at the head-to-heads last year with the Timberwolves and the Suns. Final 2 meetings, both of them over 240 in terms of total points. So I think this total at 226.5, I believe, is the best number out there right now. It's actually 227 right now, -110 at points bet. We'll rock with that. So there you go. Minnesota +4 and Minnesota Phoenix over 227 for me.
Yeah, I mean that total could easily get bet back the other way by first tip, by tip off. At some point, I wouldn't be surprised by that as well. Yeah, this is a very interesting one. I'm looking at all these. JPZ likes the Suns at -4. He coins leaning Phoenix under 227. MDR says if Sports Insight's paid for play here, subscriptions wouldn't be needed. 20 cents a mention. Yeah, we don't get shit. We should. I should be like, hey, Sports Insights, 20 cents a mention. Pay me. Hell yeah, you're right. We should stop mentioning them for free. All right. Yeah, wow. I'm just avoiding making an official decision here. I guess I'm just going to.
Minnesota's been a very good dog as well. Last year they were very good in the underdog role, and this year they haven't been in the underdog role actually yet this year. This will be the first time they've been an underdog this year, and very good catching points last year, and we'll see if that carries over into tonight.
You don't like this guy Landale as a replacement for Ayton?
He's going to work hard, but he's a little bit not going to give you quite the I think defensive. I've never been thought of him as a great defensive player. Even going back, I remember the guy from St. Mary's, the Gales in college basketball a long time ago. I think you can take the ball at him and finish around the rim. I don't think he's that imposing presence, and obviously not the player DeAndre Ayton is, but I don't think he's the physical imposing presence that DeAndre Ayton is either.
Yeah. I feel you. Minnesota should be okay offensively, right? They just had an off game there against the Spurs, who kind of D it up a little bit.
That's never my concern with Pete, with Minnesota. I'm always thinking they've got more than enough weapons and artillery offensively. It's going to be defensively and protecting leads, which has become a big problem in the Chris Finch era. Last year it was in the regular season, the playoffs. We know what happened against Memphis, blowing leads left and right in the second half. It's already happened multiple times this year where they've blown leads. So, but again, in a lot of these games where they've blown these leads, they were favorites. They don't cover. That's why the underdog role is the preferred role for them. Because, and I think in this spot, you're playing, the team that went to the finals 2 years ago, team that's been among the best teams in the Western Conference the last few years. This is a game you step up for, in my opinion, if you're Minnesota, especially off a bad loss.
All right. Well, I'm going to give at least one official play for this NBA card. I won't not give anything. Minnesota Timberwolves, team total over 112 -110. Current line at Heritage. Minnesota Timberwolves, team total over 112 -110. Ian Cameron. And let's see what other people are saying. Not many strong opinions. Nasty Nate likes the Suns' first half, though. Only first half. And as far as the money that comes from a site that I won't mention right now, no line value on either side in this game, but the bigger bets clearly coming in on Minnesota. 30% of the tickets, 65% of the cash on Minnesota, and the bigger bets as of right now coming in on the under. About 40% of the tickets and about 85% of the cash coming in on the under. But again, that could change drastically by tip-off. Ian Cameron, thanks so much for joining us once again. Minnesota team total over 112 -110 is my only official play on this show. Review your official plays, Ian Cameron, please.
Chicago Bulls +2 against Brooklyn. Brooklyn over 230.5 -110. And that total's moving up in a hurry. So make sure you jump on that if you haven't done so already. We're passing on Orlando OKC. We're passing on Golden State Miami with just a mild lean to the Warriors. And we're going to be involved with Minnesota +4 and Minnesota Phoenix over 227.5. So there you go.
Right.
4 plays, side and total in both the Chicago Brooklyn and Minnesota Phoenix games.
I'll answer your question, Bella B, in 1 second. Ian Cameron, thanks so much for joining us once again. Cannot recommend more. A, the Ice Guys show. B, the college football previews that Ian Cameron does for Pub Sports Radio with Connor Mack. All those extremely valuable, in my opinion, more for the information that serves me the entire season than the actual picks in the shows, although the actual picks in the shows are obviously great as well. Ian Cameron, thanks so much. We'll talk to you again very soon.
It's great to do this, Peter. Have a good night. Good luck.
Hell yeah. You too. All right. Bella B asking about the Nets game money stuff, the line value. Yeah, according to a certain website, small line value on the Chicago Bulls. Half of the tickets and about 85% of the cash on Chicago, and the bigger bets all coming in on the under as well. 50% of the tickets and 90% of the cash on the under, but small line value on Chicago, about 50% of the tickets and 85% of the cash coming in on the Bulls. There's your answer, Bella B. All right, what are we doing now? I believe next we're going to do MLB, right? Jose Bouquett, you want to jump in? Are we doing college football or MLB right now?
Ultimately, your choice, Peter. I'm here for both of them. So you want to talk round ball. We can talk round ball. We can talk whatever the fuck shape the football is. We can talk that too.
Let's start with college football, all right?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. Jose Bouquett is going to be my guest for these two games. I don't know how much you've looked at action at these two games, but I'm following college football very closely this year so far, getting nice results. Ball State and Kent State in Maction. As soon as this line came out, I thought it was more likely than not to be a close one-possession game, as these games tend to be. And I jumped on Ball State at +5, but last I checked, there was a strong move in favor of Kent State, which makes some sense to me, of course, because Kent State is an impressive offensive team. They can put up points in a hurry for sure. But my sense is that Ball State, has gotten a little bit unlucky. Kent State maybe a little bit lucky recently. Ball State has a nice offensive line, which should be strong here. They've been passing a little bit less recently. They shut down the run decently, and I think they'll be able to contain Kent State. And I was also leaning under the initial total as well, about 60.5, and that's gotten bet up a few points too. So my initial thoughts on this game were opposite of the line movements since then. But I think I'm still liking them. Of course, Kent State is stacked. They always have great guys at the skill positions. They have a quarterback who makes everything work. It doesn't matter if the line movement may have been the result of news that Colin Schlee, their starting quarterback, is going to play here. But that actually, it didn't matter to me that much who actually played at quarterback. Their offense is good. No matter who's running it, the backup was decent as well. So I understand the respect for Kent State, and I have it. But I was leaning Ball State and leaning under. And let me see where the line movement has gone on this game. What we're seeing right now. Did you look at this at all? I know you weren't expecting to analyze this with me, Jose, but did you look at this much?
Well, I've got inside insight.
What do you have for me?
Insight. That's a hard word to say.
Sure.
One of my close personal friends is one of the defensive coaches at Ball State.
Shit.
Yeah, I believe in Ball State. His name's actually Nate. I call him Ball Nate. I believe in Ball Nate. I actually have futures on Ball Nate to win their division, I guess. I forgot what it's called, at the West Central, whatever the fuck. But their side of the conference, it was huge odds. They're the biggest underdog going into this season. I'm going to take the +7. Personally, I believe in my guy, his defense. It's been okay. The quarterback play is always the issue. And I would lean towards your under as well here, Peter.
Okay. Why would you lean towards the under? Because he suggested it, or what?
Because I trust my friend's defensive strategy.
Mm-hmm.
Come on. No, I've got no statistical analysis behind my picks and plays. You know that, Peter, especially when it comes to the NFL and NCAA. Somehow we've still found ourselves at the top of the Cappers contest standings. But I like the +7 here. It does obviously worry me that Kent State's at home. I would love for Ball State to be at home and have their home fans behind them, but I believe in them. Yeah,
I'm not sure about this at line one. I think I'm going to give Kent State +7 as an official play. Maybe I'll play the Now I Like It More card here, although it makes me nervous. Let's look at the comments coming in here. James S says Kent State no good against the pass, Ball State no good against the run. So he's talking about the over high pace. Yeah, and both teams can Kent State has explosive play possibility for sure. But I am going to make that one official. I'm going to take Ball State. I'm seeing 7 minus 108 at Heritage. Let me see what Pinnacle has here. Let me just quickly go. Quickly.
I'm taking it as well right now. I took it at the +7 minus 112. Shout out to our friends at Bet Online.
Okay. I am seeing a bunch of 108s, including a Pinnacle. So Ball State +7 minus 108. That's going to be an official play for me. The total has gotten bet up, and it looks like it's getting bet higher. We'll see. I might pull the trigger on the under. I understand that both teams can be vulnerable defensively, and a lot of times these midweek MAC games soar over, and I've given official plays on those types of games over the past few years and done well with them. We'll see. I feel a lot less confident about my lean to the under than my lean to the side. Side could also lose, but I did bet it, and I'll make it official. Jose Bouquett and I both on Ball State. getting the points here. Very interesting. We'll look at any comments coming in, and then we'll move on to the other game. Johnny Guns.
I just texted my friend, good luck. So that means we're for sure going to win.
G. Martinez likes Kent State. They're going to run them over. Yeah, I mean, Kent State's offense, when it's clicking against defense that can't stop them, will cover, big spreads, especially at home. I think that Ball State will be able to keep up with them offensively. I kind of like they're passing the ball a little bit less, being a little bit more crafty. And, based on some things that I look at, makes me, Ball State's also kind of improving. They're getting a little bit better defensively recently. I like to take teams that are, were mediocre or maybe subpar, but showing improvement. And I like to bet into that as the season progresses. Could be wrong, but I'm taking it. Ball State +7 as an official play. Next game, Buffalo and Ohio. Both these teams have been great ATS this year. Buffalo, very strong team. Good all around. Got a great dual threat quarterback, leads a good attack, good running back duo, excellent defense, and even a good kicker. Ohio defense can give up big plays, but they have an offense that can be good as well. They have a quarterback who's very accurate and gets yards and points and all that. And Rourke is his name, and he's in general statistically very good. So I was leaning over in this one. This is a game that I was going to take over on. The side I have no opinion on as of right now, but I was definitely leaning over. I did bet that one a little bit at 59. A little bit surprised that this total was lower than the other game, but I'm liking the over here. Let's see what other people are looking at here as far as this game. Let's see. G. Martinez. Paddock make too many mistakes and not converting. Yeah, But again, I think that they're planning around that a little bit. They're running the ball a little bit more, which I think is going to be good for this game. We'll see. Christopher Gomatini looking over as well at this one, and I think I might add that one on. Jose Bouquett, you got anything on this one? Any inside?
No, I would love to hear what you did for Halloween, Pete. I'll be honest with you.
What I did for Halloween?
Yeah, did you dress up? I know.
No, I slept a lot, and I tried to prepare for college basketball. Although I'm behind on my college basketball analysis.
So no costumes, no fits for Peter Loshak.
I mean, there are those who would say that presenting myself as an astute college basketball handicapper is a season-long costume. So, yeah, if you want to say that I was pretending to know what I'm talking about when it comes to college basketball handicapping, that's a costume of sorts. But the way you mean it, no. I just I slept and did my it's nice to see the kids walking around the neighborhood in their costumes.
People walk around in New York and trick or treat. I didn't know.
Yeah, of course. You look at
a brownstone.
You look at adults who do such evil things all the time, and you look at these adorable little kids, and you're like, how does this group of adorable creatures turn into this group of incredibly evil things? But somehow it happens. Somehow they transform from like adorable little kids in Halloween costumes to fucking warmongering vicious criminals. And I don't know how it happens, but it's nice to walk around when they're in their Halloween outfits and everything. I think I'm gonna take it. I don't understand why the total has not gotten bet higher. It's 58.5 at Heritage, 59 at Pinnacle. But
Capper likes the over.
Yeah, I'm gonna trust myself with my college football feels and leans right now. I'll make that official. I'll take over 58.5 current line at Pinnacle. Buffalo, Ohio. Over 58.5 -108. That's the current line at Heritage. Definitely a little concerning that the line hasn't gotten. Wait, let me just check the money just to see what the money is for these situations here. Just to enlighten me a little bit to see where the bets are coming in. Yeah, it looks like some bigger bets and stuff, and the sharp action coming in on Ohio, which would have been my lean as well. Definitely leaning Ohio. And, big bets on Ball State, sharp on Kent State, which is not surprising, but doesn't really matter that much to me. Wow, look at that. So, yeah, the big bets coming in on the over, but supposedly some sharp action on the under, according to, we won't mention it, in the Kent State game, and nothing on the Buffalo, Ohio game. So some interesting stuff here. I'll take the over in Buffalo, Ohio, 58.5 -108 as an official play, and the +7 for Ball State as an official play there. Definitely leaning under, though, in the Kent State game, and definitely leaning Ohio as well. Let's look at some other comments coming in. Let's look at some comments.
I think this action has snuck up on a lot of people. I didn't know there was going to be some Tuesday football today, and I'm excited about it now. November comes, some action's here.
I love it, but then it means I have to put myself out there publicly and suffer from that syndrome, all in on public play syndrome that I suffer from. But all right, yeah. Slow Jam says lean over also. Buffalo can put up 41 real quick. Yeah, for sure. Andrew Carr, like in Ohio +3, I would lean that way as well. Okay, so once again, 2 official plays, but definitely leaning Ohio and leaning under on the Ball State game. Although people in the comment section making some great points about why they like the over in that one, and if it does hit, we'll not at all be surprised. We'll be like, well, I guess I was just wrong. And that's it. We can talk about other college football if you want. I did take a small shot with the under in the Ohio State Northwestern game. That's an early game. Northwestern is a massive underdog. I took the under in that one. I think I got 62.5. Don't exactly remember what it was, but I took it. I took a shot with under in Army Air Force. Jose Bouquett 40. I got 40. It's now down to 39.5. What'd you say, Jose?
That makes sense. The Naval Academy or these Air Force academies, they always go under, right?
Yeah, let's just identify. I took an under with that one. I took an under in the Ohio State Northwestern game. Just scanning the card. Not sure if there's anything. Yeah, it's down to 61 now. I think I got a better number than that. Not sure if I want to add on anything. I did. It might have been a really stupid move, but I did take a shot with Colorado +31.5 at home against Oregon. Bo Nix for Oregon. Not sure they're going to be reliable to cover that big of a spread. Let's see what else we got. Just scanning the card. All right, let's move on from there. Just wanted to identify a few things that I did. People might
big game tonight, Pete. We got a lot of games to talk about tonight.
Yeah. All right. So let's move on. Move on to MLB. Houston and Philly. Last game on the card that we're going to talk about. I ignore the MLB World Series from a betting perspective, although I think it's interesting and sometimes find it enjoyable to watch. From a betting perspective, I'm off of it, but Jose Bouquett, of course, follows MLB from a betting perspective very closely up to the very end. So I haven't even analyzed this game. I do see that it's McCullers starting, totals about 8, and Philly is a dog. Did you make a bet on this one, Jose Bouquett?
Yeah, I have. Luckily for me, I've made 4 World Series bets. I've cashed 3 of them.
Nice.
And I'm just going to keep rolling with what I think is going to happen here. I thought Houston would sweep this series, personally. I thought Houston was just a superior team. I even put some shekels on Houston sweep +900. Obviously, that blew up in my face fucking immediately. Mm-hmm. But I will be interested to see here. It's actually going to be Ranger Suarez instead of Noah Syndergaard pitching today versus Lance McCullers. The rain delay has helped out the Phillies here a little bit. So Ranger pitched in game 1, I believe it was, pitched 2 2/3 or 1 2/3 innings pitched. No, just 2/3 of innings pitched. There we go. He did fine. But ultimately, I think the cap is still the same with Suarez or Noah Syndergaard. It's Astros for me. The only times I really feel, comfortable, or I should say, the only times I feel worried taking the Astros is against Wheeler and Nola, and they got 5 earned runs off both those guys. So I'm taking Houston -1, and I've taken them Houston -1 in every game so far in the series. My other bet, along with, I've had 2 bets on each game essentially. I can't take it in this game because the total's too high, unfortunately. Mm-hmm. But I took Houston team total over 3.5 in both of the first 2 games, as well as the -1. It's nice. Like the first game, we cashed at 3.5 easy. They lose the full game, whatever. We cashed both the next game. I like that here. But our friends on Bet Online, I think, Pete, if I was more up to your standards, I would take this. But they have the 3.5 as a -145 currently. I saw on Bovada that 3.5 at -160 as well. So technically, you can say you're getting value at -145. I looked at the 4. Kind of got scared off of it, to be honest. So I think Houston wins this game. The biggest main factor for me here is Philadelphia has not lost a game at home yet this postseason. Pete, you heard me say this, and I'm sure everyone's heard me say this. There's a few home field advantages that really matter in the postseason. Not all of them do. The Philadelphia Phillies definitely do. That fan base has been starving for a World Series game, and now they get it. The tickets are super expensive there too, which is hilarious because everyone wants to go. So I expect this game and game one were my two games that I was like, if I'm going to lose a sweep bet, it's going to be on one of these two games. Obviously, it was game one, but I think this is the best shot the Phillies do have to win this game. And if they win this game, they're definitely in the series. I'll get a great price on plus money on the Astros after this game. But I think the Astros win and take care of business. So I took Houston -1. I think I got plus 111 or even money. Oh, and by the way, we have some breaking news. So let's just go ahead. Hold on. Let's do this. All right, so two breaking newses. One will affect our capping today. The Brooklyn Nets have fired Steve Nash. Fired Steve Nash. So now it is absolutely a Brooklyn Nets spot. I'll tell you that. And secondly, the Lions traded TJ Hawkinson to the Minnesota Vikings. So there are your two breaking newses of the day. So I am taking that first five, or I'm taking the full game -1 as that even money for me. I made it with the run line calculator as well.
For the Nets, you mean?
No, I'm talking for Astros here for the -1.
Oh, for the Astros game. Oh,
yeah,
okay.
-1. I'm not an NBA capper, as you know, Pete. I fucking hate the NBA actively. Yeah. But yeah, I'd bet the Nets here. I mean, it makes sense. This isn't in like sports capping. This is just human psychological capping. We just got our coach fired. He's one of the greatest players of all time, and definitely didn't deserve to get fired. Maybe some accountability can be had in that locker room, but it also is a locker room with Kyrie Irving and Ben Simmons. So accountability.
And they are also on a back-to-back. Yeah.
Yeah, accountability is not to be found there.
Interesting game. All right. Well, I hope you can. There's no way in hell I'm going to bet this MLB game, but Jose Bouquett, I hope you cash. I'm very impressed that you have done well betting the World Series. I find the World Series and MLB playoffs in general to be tough to handicap, and with everything else going on, I just avoid it. But here we go. We'll look at some of the comment section, and then we'll wrap this show up. Mike M, KD want to Nash out preseason. Let's see what happens now. Yeah, maybe they're really going to be really psyched. But it just seems like the Nets are. Go ahead, Jose.
I doubt it. They're done. They're done. That team is so done, Peter. The Kyrie thing, Kyrie and Ben Simmons are just the two worst teammates in NBA history. So can't do it.
Teflon Don says Nets about to go on a tear. Right before the season started, right before the Nets first game, I saw on Twitter a guy who says, one of the classic guys who's like, I followed the Nets my whole life. He's like, bet against my Nets in this game, and he listed all of his reasons. Those reasons might be fundamental. Yeah, they might get a little bit of a boost now for a little bit, but then continue to be a fade. Teflon Don says Nets about to go on a tear. Yeah, man.
It'll be interesting to say the least. KD, KD props too maybe tonight as well. Like you guys were mentioning, He was pushing him out the preseason. It was him or me, whatever the hell. Maybe it's, again, some accountability. I'm not going to bet on, obviously, Kyrie for that, but,
All right. Well, it was a good show. I've got a lot of picks that are hanging here now, public plays. I hope overall they come up at least 1/10 of a unit positive. Thanks so much to the comment section, Mr. Gokster, Babano, of course, everyone at Pub Sports Radio, and Jose Bouquett. Thank you so much for doing this. Jose, that was a pretty good show, right, Jose?
Yeah, thank you to Trotwam as well. And real quick, some plugs before we get out of here. The Breeders' Cup, Peter. I know you love betting on the ponies, but the Breeders' Cup is this weekend. Jimmy going live Saturday and Friday, both days. Friday at 11:45 a.m. Eastern. Saturday at 10:15. You guys are going to bet all the horses with Jimmy the Bag there. Don't forget as well, bet online. I use our promo code Pub Sports Radio, or sorry, Pub Sports, and then on SeatGeek is what I'm looking at behind me there is promo code Pub Sports Radio. That fucking expensive ass World Series ticket can get a little cheaper on our friends for our SeatGeek. So shout out to them, and thank you for the support as always.
All sounds awesome. Jose Bouquett Everyone, let's get that cash, and we'll see you again next Tuesday.